Hello, Internet.
Whoa.
We're on the Internet, John. I feel like I was just on the Internet, and then you were just on the Internet. Now we're together on the Internet.
I know, I know. Yep.
Yeah, we did. You did a stand up yesterday. I did a stand up today. It was bananas.
Yes, yes. And I'm learning to work on my laptop. I'm usually a three monitors all over my desk thing. I'm actually in New Jersey. I'm visiting family and stuff, and so working remotely, double remote. So, yeah.
Double remote. Yeah, it's hard. It's when I used to live the life, right, which was on the road. And by live the life, I mean road life, which is like on the road 70-80% of the year at Xamarin. And like you live and die by this one screen. Like now I'm just like at home all day, like at work, I like multiple monitors, like everything is great. And it's like, oh my goodness, 4 different computers, just like it's nice.
I actually do have a USB third or second monitor. Yeah,
Sidecar action. I like that.
sidecar, and it works pretty darn well. It's I mean, just stuff like put my email here and my browser here or my Visual Studio or whatever. I need the monitors.
I think, the official sidecar for iPad for Mac OS, like very much genius, right? Because most people have that device with them. It's there already.
Yeah.
I do want to
Yeah.
say something though. You know that this feature is built in to Windows. If you have two Windows machines, you
That's
can
true.
it's built in. If you're on the same Wi-Fi network, you can say mirror this screen over, and it'll just put a second extended monitor on the other screen. It's kind of crazy.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so, anyways, well, first and foremost, Mortal, thank you so much for the resub. Prime, 6 months active. Thank you so much for being there. And John, I coded by myself last week. Can you believe it?
I'm scared. I'm scared. Did you switch us over to like Python or something?
Yeah,
What happened?
everything is written in Go now. So sorry. I just figured, I wanted to program in something that I didn't know anything about. So
No, so I was looking at it. It looks really good, although I did, as I was running through, I switched over and ran it against the live feed, and I got an exception. So I thought
uh,
that might be a fun thing to test. It's not your fault. It would have broken on my code as well. But
okay.
so do you want to show off what you did last week, or
Yeah,
what do you want
sure.
to?
Let me hop over to my, I guess that's your computer. All right, let me figure this out. How do I do this thing? All right, I have my stream set up only to show your screen. So I need to go into
Uh,
my stream. I got it. Don't worry. I'm gonna
okay.
go into my stream deck, go into my slobs, and I'm gonna say
By
theme.
the way, I think I need to get a Stream Deck one of these days because I'm going to TwitchCon too. This is crazy.
TwitchCon. I like
Yeah.
that.
It's in San Diego. It's like I can walk to it. So
Yeah, as you should. All right, so let me see here. So I'm gonna go to my computer. That's not my computer. All right, hold on. Wait a second.
and that's the end of our show for today, guys.
And that's
Thanks.
it, everyone. All right, now here's what I got to do: is I got to make sure I put your face on here. How do I
Mhm.
do this? So there's me. I've never done it where I've shared my screen with a guest. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do? This is great. I'm doing this all in real time.
It's exciting.
And so I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna add a new scene. Scene. Yep. Add source. I need to add interview camera 2. Boom. There's John. And sure. Boop. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. And then, God. So then what I can do is I can make you a little bit smaller.
Mhm.
Well,
Full
I
screen.
mean, full screen,
No.
John. All right, there we go. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it.
That looks great.
I'm content.
It's as good as I'm gonna look.
All right, so I'm gonna run the code now. I'm gonna be in. I have just the sample code, I think, in the startup here. So I'm on the mock data service. So I
That's
did
fine.
I did get stuff working last week. We got our first community pull request last week too.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. It was live because I couldn't figure out how to do something, and then they fixed it last week. So if I went to the pull requests over here, who did it? What's his name? Vinicius did it because I couldn't figure out how to do the pill position correctly to the top right,
yeah.
and he fixed it.
That's
So,
great. Yeah, overall those cards, it's a new feature and in Bootstrap, and some of that stuff, it's like if you do it super easy, then it all works, and if you want to do something specific, then you end up like dropping down, writing some more.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is looking good.
So you can see, so this is what it looks like. Last week we added pills, so now every single show has like what it is. So Visual Studio, I kind of put in some dummy data so we can see upcoming, new, on there, and then like when it is, like it's a month from now or June 20th. So I put these little bottom cards on it. I thought it looked good. In general, I was feeling pretty good about myself. And then these little
so wait a second, 1 month from now, those are upcoming. Okay, I get it.
Those are upcoming. So you'd be like, oh, this is upcoming, this is new. And then if there was live, it would actually say live right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't do the banner thing yet, but the idea is that like maybe the second one, I put dummy data in here, right? But maybe the second one here is live, so it's upcoming. The first one's upcoming, and the next one's live because it's happening now.
Yep.
And we only put a few on there anyway, so it'd be like, oh, here's the stuff happening. So that live is bright red, upcoming is this bluish color, and then new is green. I thought that was good. And really, I took that from live.asp.net, but I kind of tweaked it, right? Because I just have this new badge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like the new badge down there. I just thought that comparatively, like this card looks better than that card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So
yeah.
I think that the font is a little bit heavy, and there's some spacing issues. But besides that, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, and if it, that goes somewhere, that could be smaller or it could be changed around some, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that thing, well, I guess that'll vary. If it's for a previous show, it would take you maybe to the show page with the show notes and to view the show and all that stuff.
Well, here is my thought too, is that we have the URL list, and my thought here is to basically parse the description and pull out the community links. You know what I mean? And then if there is community links, then just put a link here that says go to show notes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then we don't even need to create another backend, have really fancy show notes. Like the show notes are the links, right?
Well,
Ish.
I don't know. Ish. I mean, so that's a good question. To start with, yes, but the show notes could be a lot more.
It could be.
Because we used to have show notes where they would explain like in depth. Some of the show notes were like blog posts, and it would say like, then Damien showed this new feature, and this will come out in this thing, and here's a walkthrough, and here's some screenshots, and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
So you are, I mean, and maybe that's also something in the description where it could say show notes. Like we basically have the URL. We could say community links, and if we find that, yep. And if it has show notes, then link over to that.
Well, and how I'm doing this too is I think for us, like what we can do is end up just having a standardization of how we name things. So the one thing I did last week, so we seem to be falling on this naming scheme of basically, so if I look here at the ASP.NET one, let me pause that.
Yeah.
So we have ASP.NET Community Stand-Up. So it always starts, the first few words are always the what it is. And then here, inside the date, it's always, the date is in the middle, right? And then the topic afterwards. So my thought here is when I look at my show...
And by the way, that logic, that's how the existing live.asp.net site works.
Oh, is it? That's funny.
There's parsing in there, yeah.
That makes sense. So I added all this parsing code. So like I have this thing called a short title where I split out stuff, and then I say, give me the last piece if there's two of those in there. There's more than two. Because maybe there's only one and it's like July 10th or whatever, but there's no, like if I go to... there was one of these where it's just like, it just says like July 12th. You wouldn't want July 12th to be the name of it. You would want it to be like, Xamarin Community Stand-Up July 12th. And then once they fill in what it is, then boom. Now we could do a better job on our end, but
Yeah.
And then like I filled in the rest of this basically to figure out if it's new, if it's is in the future, is on air. This one's cool. I found that I got the actual start time, actual end date. If it has a start time, like the actual start time is like when you hit go, not scheduled. So that's new. And then actual end time, these are nullable date times. And if there's not an end time, then it's still live, which is kind of cool. So anyways, and then I do this category stuff. This is how I figure out the category. I have some hard coding in here right now, but I think this is fine.
Yeah, well, and it's, a few neat things with that. One is, I mean, you start with the logic and then it's at least spelled out what it is.
Yeah.
And then later, if you want to change it around, you can.
Yeah.
And then also some of that stuff can split into functions, like you can actually call a separate function that says, get me this for that, like, however. So,
yeah, I agree. Yeah. So that's why I put the format here, like for the title, this is what it should be is blah, 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 like X community stand up, Monday, day, year, topic. Right. And then we use these little things as indicators.
Cool.
I should probably do the short title. I should probably remove strings or whatever, trim it or whatever. Anyway, so you're saying it broke. What broke?
Well, yeah. So actually, just flip your
bits.
Instead of pulling against, flip those bits. Instead of going against the mock YouTube service, go against the live YouTube service.
Okay.
And I thought this was pretty interesting because I had to troubleshoot. And I'm like, what? Did I do something wrong? And actually, the first thing was I'm on my laptop, so I had to get my YouTube API key on here, and I typed the JSON wrong. If your JSON's wrong, you get an unhappy. Okay, so see that?
Oh no.
So what's going on if you go to that line 87 of the YouTube show service?
Right here. Let me pump this up a little bit here. Line 87. So this is saying there's a null reference exception object on the playlist, line 87. Okay.
So the deal there is when it's going through and converting the response from the YouTube API to a show, we are assuming that there's a bunch of stuff there, and if the video is private, it's not all there. So the specific one there is the thumbnail URL.
Okay,
so there's a few options. We could use the Elvis operator thing, and just say if thumbnail exists, then medium, then URL. That's a very quick way to fix it. But also, this show is actually a private video, so you don't shown, right?
Yeah. Can I do that on the request? Maybe can I come in and then say? So we have this is the get shows. I'm curious, can I do request dot?
I didn't see how to do that. You may. I didn't see a way to filter that.
That would be very strange if it doesn't have one.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, because this is going to get all the snippets and it executes them. And then, so it grabs all of them. I see. So get shows, and then I do get the live streaming details, but this is here. The show is even there. Okay, so this is the playlist items. Oh, interesting. Okay, so YouTube playlist items API. I'm curious if the video, if the video knows if it's,
So the crazy thing for me was I didn't see that, and I just took a quick few-minute look. It changes the title to private video.
Oh, really?
So you can look it up using that. You can actually, if you inspect it, if you set a breakpoint on it or something.
Let's do it. It should be the first one because the reason this happened is I had to make a video private because there was some PII from one of our episodes, and then I needed to edit it, so I took it down.
Yep.
Oh, man, this thing is a fast API.
Yeah.
All right.
It's fun, by the way, for me being on the other end of this and watching the live share, and it's crazy having a browser window pop open and show stuff as it goes. This is just nuts.
Okay, so it's not that one.
It's not at the first. It is. I think it's the second one, and I'm not sure why that is.
Oh, that's because it's probably title private video.
Yep.
Huh, description, this video is private.
Yeah, and going through this, I didn't see any other stuff that like there's not a flag that says like private. You know?
That is interesting. I mean, all right, YouTube. All right, you do you, YouTube. That's what I say. You. It's okay to be yourself, YouTube. All right.
So you could do a few things, like in your link query, you
Yep.
could say where, you know.
So we should write a unit test, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's when we were talking about this earlier. That's probably better. It's like, let's write a breaking unit test and fix it and try and be good.
Well, so what this should be, though, is what we could unit test is what we would want to do is probably, what would we want to unit test? Would it be like we want to break out this conversion into its own method and then test this method?
Yeah, well, there's that, or there's there's different levels of how chunky you want the test to be.
Because we probably don't want to test the YouTube service call, right?
Apparently, I just subscribed.
John Galloway, thank you for subscribing. Did you not know what you're doing? You just gave me $5. Thank you.
Whoa!
Oh, you got a gift sub. Whoa! Wow, from Lotan B joining the party and
wow.
Got a gift sub. But now you got sweet emotes. So you can use emotes like
that is amazing.
Yeah. Hello. You can use coffee cups and you can use mooches in there. That's great. Now you got all the emotes.
Wow. This is the favorite day ever.
And that was a random one too. So I think it was just gifted randomly. That was great. So there you go.
This is great.
All right, so B Pellet says the playlist item itself has a status with privacy status according to the docs. Let's look. Status. Part. Oh. You know why? Because we didn't query the status on it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We queried snippet, right?
Snippet, yeah.
Is it comma delimited? Can you do, snippet comma status?
That's a good question. That also seems very weird that it is. The list contains part names that include thing. Okay, so I guess I could test it.
You can test it too, yeah. But you do need the playlist API.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which I think is inside of our app.
It's our app settings. Yep.
Yeah, this one is actually public because then anyone can see that.
Yep.
Mona, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And Lotan, of course, thank you for the gift sub. So ID, playlist ID. Boop. Let's execute that pup. And I'll do it against the foundation, I guess. Sure, I'll allow Google to do whatever it needs to do. Oh, I did something wrong. Oh, that's not correct. Okay. Oh, comma delimited. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so it is. Okay, yeah, it is. Interesting. So, yeah, so private videos don't have... Oh, status. Privacy status private. Okay, so it says that it has it. So...
I see it there.
Okay, so we should be able to then do status. And then I'm kind of curious, though. I guess it would be request dot... What is that thing called? Oh, you can't, but you can't...
It's in the results.
It's in the results. So you'll get it back. You can't filter on public, right? Because if you look here, you can't get that back.
Right, but that's fine. Just in our... Oh, can you do it in your link query below? You may have to break...
See. Dot where item dot status. Let's see what they equal. So it does have a status, playlist item status. Oh, okay.
Is it a string?
Oh, that's a good question. It's definitely a playlist item status.
Is it a class? It's not an enum, huh?
Oh, dot privacy status dot privacy status.
Oh,
Equals. That's a string. Oh, that's great.
not equal private.
That's a yeah. I wonder what they could be though, right? Like, what is the valid private? There's unlisted. You also don't want unlisted, right? You would just want public.
Mm-hmm. So you just want
public
equals. Yeah.
So the question here is, should we still write a unit test?
Well, I don't know. I was all excited about that earlier, but maybe, now it's like, wow. So there's different things you could test. One is, does a call to this return
private stuff?
Well, I was going to say, even does this succeed? Do you get back a list of playlist items?
Yeah, that's true. I guess the question is, do we figure out how to unit test the API though? You know what I mean?
Oh, right. We have that. We still have that to figure out, right? Because our unit tests need injected stuff.
Mm-hmm. But I think so far we didn't really do anything. All we did was we checked that the status code is good.
Mm-hmm.
We have a YouTube health. Actually, did we do something? Oh, we have. Oh, you know what we do have? We have a.
You can test pages.
You can test pages. So like that thing exists, and then that is how we get the thing. Oh, you know what? That unit test should have failed because it would have been unhealthy.
You're right.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Oh, well, so
we already had a test, kind of.
Kind of. I mean, it was okay.
Okay. So if you rolled it back, I mean, if you comment out that where.
Yep.
And let's run our unit test and see if it would have broke.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. The tests, run all tests. Yeah, I'm curious. So this is going to spin up the web app and then actually do it, basically.
Yeah.
C# Fritz, yay for unit tests.
Yay for unit
There you go.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And let's do a little back. C# Fritz cheered 100 bits on July 3rd, 2019. Appreciate that. Where's our test runner? There we go. So yeah, our test failed.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. We at least, and some nice things with that too, that actually would have been unhealthy if we had multiple of these online or whatever. Like we could have had that fail our CI build or something there too, right?
Yep. And we'd be like, whoa, what's going on? I mean, ideally you probably would have what we would have had is probably some pingdom thing or something that pings that healthy request, right? And then it would have been like the website's down. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but even better if we had the tests run as part of our CI build, then we wouldn't even promote this. So like basically it wouldn't even go live. You know what I mean? So like if this was running in Azure or whatever, it wouldn't even become the official build.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So I mean, we have a test. We should maybe put down a thing for more granular unit tests. I'm gonna put down an issue for that.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, this isn't super resilient code. Like, what if the snippet's null? Like, what if I mean, inside of here, I could do where, and then I could do and item dot snippet does not equal null, and I mean that's probably the first thing that we need, right? And well, actually, we probably need a few checks in here, right? We could do item dot status does not equal null, right? Make sure it has a status.
Yep.
And then inside of here, I mean, what we could do is if we really wanted to, we could refactor this, and then we could say refactor extract method, and we could say playlist items to shows, right? And then in here, like this is now a testable piece of functionality, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this has nothing to do with any YouTube stuff, anything like that in general. And now we could do... Jorge, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So the question is then, how can we maybe then make this internal?
Yeah, so one other thing is that whole not equal null and all that. You can do can't you do the item dot status question mark dot, you know what I mean? The Elvis operator thing. So
yes.
instead, you could replace that not equals null. You could do
that. Oh, you could do this. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
And then that.
Yep.
Yeah. If for some reason the item will never be null.
Right.
But the status could be null. And then
status.
And if so, then that'll just return null. All right, cool. The snippet we should still check.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel as though the thumbnail we should check though, because what if there is no thumbnail?
Yep.
So
well, so that you could do if you could do a ternary, or you could do again the Elvis operator. Question, so on snippet you question mark dot.
Like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like these ones don't matter. I mean, the resource ID, if it doesn't have a resource ID, then something's terribly wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like this is okay. And then this one will be okay because this is get value or default, the to list. So yeah, if we really wanted to, like what we could end up doing is writing unit tests. What we should have done is wrote unit tests to check, pass it a null thumbnail, pass it a null snippet, right? And then...
Yeah, and we should write some unit tests that verify what happens when you pass it bad stuff. Like we could even our mock service, we could have a failing test service, or you know what I mean? One
That's
that pulls
true.
Bad JSON, like JSON with all kinds of bad stuff.
Yeah.
So while you're doing this, I added a new issue to the repo to set up more granular unit tests.
Okay.
But that's going to take some messing around because right now we have injected services that only are working in the pages. And I remember we messed with this on the last call we were both on, and it was getting a little hairy. And it seems like something that might be better to do offline.
Yeah.
And not have people watch us bumble through because it's going to be boring.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea of you doing the mock data, right? Which is like, here's all the bad data that we're testing. This should always work. Now our tests are green, by the way, so that's good.
Cool.
And let's actually run it again. We'll see if this privacy status thing actually works. See if anyone else had any questions in the chat. Vin says hello. Hey, Vin, how's it going? Of course, C# Fritz is hanging out. When the test should fail, and it does. Yeah, it's a good day when tests fail. And they're there. Let's see. So, and we're live again. All right. Well, it worked.
Yeah.
Oh,
good fun. Okay, cool. And we learned a little something. And this also, we would have hit this eventually, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to fix that. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. Okay, so you want to look at our plan here?
Yes.
Our project plan?
Well, let me go and commit this code really quick because I think that's always important. So let's go ahead and fix up. I was thinking, is there anything else in here? So we should do something in blob storage to have like a default thumbnail. Can I just how do I add an image into an how do I add an image into an ASP.NET website?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It really is a good question. So one thing you can do is in your www root.
Okay.
That's where your static assets go. So expand that out. You can put images, CSS, JavaScript. So right there isn't an image folder. Just create a folder under www root called images or image or img, whatever.
Yeah, what is the naming convention? What do people like? Do like images or img or GIF or a GIF?
I see all different ones. I see img quite a bit, but I should look at what is in standard ASP.NET website as
I
well.
was like, why won't it let me edit this folder? Because I was debugging.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Images.
sure.
So
Cool.
I think that we have let's go to twitch.tv/Visual Studio/events. Let me just have that memorized on the top of my head. And bam. Okay, so this is part of a series, and here's this image. Copy image link. Bam.
Is that the good full-size quality one?
I mean, it's going to be this big.
Oh, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Hooray. Okay.
So let's put this on the desktop. That feels like the right place to put it. And let's say community stand up logo.
Thumbnail. Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, thumbnail. Community stand up thumbnail. There you go. Not cool. That feels right. So if I add this in here, now of course we'll have to change this because we're going to put this logic into a function at some point. And we'd put it in blob storage and then return the thing. But for now, if I go and I just add that image, does it have to be anything specific? Is it like it just knows?
It knows.
Oh, what is this? What is the GFIF? That doesn't seem.
Whoa! What madness is this?
What madness is Twitch doing?
JFIF.
Weird, because it is a JPEG. Wait, what is happening? What is that file type? That doesn't seem correct. How do I see my?
What happens if you just rename it to JPEG?
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what file type this is.
JFIF. Honestly, I've never heard of a JFIF before.
That works. All right, that works. Yeah, let's not. Do you like JPEG or JPG?
JPG usually. Yeah.
I love file names.
Yeah. So JFIF is a variation of JPEG that is designed to use a minimal amount of data and blah blah blah. Whatever.
Those Twitch people, man, they're go-getters. So how would I put this in here then?
Another thing too, Ancient Coder said we could use the image URL. And one thing we could do, that's actually maybe better because that can. Yes, and the reason is you could put that image URL right in your app settings. And then later when we move to blob storage, it's just an app settings change.
Oh, okay. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So would it be better to then remove it out of this to delete this image? Okay. I see. Let's delete it. So you're saying let's go into our app settings and then add a new one.
But I'm glad we ran into that because that is something people moving from previous versions of ASP.NET are like, wait, where's my images go? And previous versions of ASP.NET, you could just put them right. You could put images right in the root of your application. But yeah, Jeff Fritz says JFIF is an image format, and he's right. But it's a dorky image format.
It's the Jeff Fritz is freaking awesome file format. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said the social media folks are all over the JFIF. It's a funny name. I like the funny name.
It is. Yeah.
All right. So default thumbnail. So I guess what I would do is I would grab this from somewhere.
Yeah. So just in your thing, you can just read up at the top where you read your stuff.
Bam.
I'm way up. I feel blessed.
Chicken Wing. Thank you for the follow. That's a funny name. I like people with funny names. Oh, and then I can do this. Watch this. Name of default thumbnail. That's probably bad, but doing it. Doing it. Although I spelled it wrong.
It's wonderful.
That's wonderful when you spell it. Absolutely. Did I spell this right? Thumbnail.
Gareth asks if JFIF solves the GIF pronunciation issue, though.
But it's not a GIF.
I know, but it's.
Is it a GIF or is it a GIF? I think I say GIF.
Jeff Fritz image format.
Yeah, yep. that is what it is. I like it. All right, so then I can just put this in here.
Yep.
Boom. I mean, probably the better thing to do is we could have a find thumbnail where we pass it the thumbnails and it looks for all the thumbnails. We're just assuming that YouTube's always going to give us a medium thumbnail. We should be like, oh, see, is there a medium? Like, get medium. And then is there a small? Get the small. And then if there's not, then get the default. But I digress.
Yep.
We could do that. Actually, you know what you do is you do item dot snippet dot thumbnails, and then you do dot medium dot small, like a standard.
Right.
And then you could do dot URL, and then you could do default, and you could just kind of keep chaining the null coalescing. It would just go for like a billion characters off the screen.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
It is wonderful. All right, cool. That's actually a lot better of an idea there. That default thumbnail idea.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. All right. Now what are we doing?
All right. Let's look at our planner thing.
Commit code. Commit and code. Do. Fritz, did you stream today? Probably was doing. I saw him go live earlier.
I think I did. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna not commit that.
That image.
Yeah. Let's commit this. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not gonna do the startup because that way we're on the mock stuff still. So fix null reference exception on JFIF. Just fake it, Fritz. I think there's a lot of memes that will be coming out of this JFIF. I've never seen that ever in my entire life, which is bananas. So a lot of people on the stream. Wow, we have like the most people on the stream ever. Fritz must have tweeted. Welcome. If you don't know what we're doing, John Galloway is helping me understand how the internet works. So
we're learning new image formats. We are building a website that's going to list all the community stand-up existing shows and upcoming shows and fancy new site.
Yep. And query API and query status now. That's good. I didn't know we were not doing that. No streaming last night.
All right. Well, there's
Pushed.
one thing we could do is the countdown header.
Aha. Yes.
You had that marked as an in process thing.
I was gonna try to do that last week, but then I didn't. Yeah, I had this. So I put those in issues. I figured I was going through and people were like, I don't want to send a pull request because it says don't send a pull request. And I was like, oh man, like we're telling people not to do it. But then I put, if there's an open issue, send a pull request.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
So one idea here, I'm actually looking at I think the way it works on the live.asp.net site, which is not a bad idea, is you basically send the video or you send the time for the next show. And so we need a little bit more logic. We'll need to say, is there an upcoming show, whatever, when is the next upcoming show? And then in the front end, you can say, you can use some JavaScript to kind of figure it out. Like
JavaScript.
I know, but it's going to be minimal. It's just going to be like, hey, the reason is because you're going to want to do this in the client to figure out for the person watching's time zone.
Oh, I see. Because the C# code. All right, so this is what always confused me. The code is not in the browser.
Right.
It's on the server.
It's on the server. So you're going to be telling them the server's time zone. So in
a Razor page, we have a Razor. What's my browser doing? We have this page. So when I first started to try to do an ASP.NET website, Heather, we sat down and I was like, Heather, but where does the code run? And she's like, well, right. I'm like, because I see it. She's like, it runs. She's like, it's on the server. I'm like, what do you mean it's on the server? It's right there on my computer. She's like, no, it's on the internet. And I was like, but when I interact, I'm touching the thing. She's like, yeah, but not really. She's like, that's not how it works. And then we had a discussion forever about how I don't know how the internet works. Well, so I do have this. I do have this show is new. So like the shows have is new, is in future, and is on air.
Okay. So Okay, if show is new. So this is where it's going through. Now, for the countdown, that's actually going to be like in a little jumbotron at the very top of the page, right?
Yes, yeah, correct. Up
And
here.
so that's going to be we're looking for if there's one show in the future, basically, right?
Yes. So what we'd want to do is maybe on the back end code when they come here, I could do
Next show or something.
yeah. Oh man, if I could just, I guess you could do that in the code, but
Well, what's nice is your page model really should be doing the logic stuff. So you can set flags, you can say, you can even set things like has upcoming show and make a Boolean or whatever,
yes. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and then I could do like public bool as up. And then I could do this, which is like
Yeah.
okay. So what we would do then is we would say, we would do upcoming show equals shows dot first or default where show dot is in the future. It's just gonna grab the first one.
I think that for now that's okay. I mean, if there's multiple shows in the future, we'd want the soonest upcoming show, right?
Which would be the last one.
Yeah.
Right? It's you know what? I'm curious though. So if we return so what we do here is we in our show service, I do this update live stream and then I order by scheduled start time. So whatever's scheduled.
So that would be first or default, right? Because the first. Well, I mean, we could try. We could monkey with the data too as another.
No, because how it would work is so if we have a show on July, someone said Fritz or default. That's great.
Nice.
So what would happen is, let's say that you had a show on the 5th and one on the 4th. It's going to put the 5th first and then the 4th, right?
That's easy for you to say. The 5th first and then the 4th.
And then the 4th, because descending wise, it's that. So
so we want
last or default.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other question though is that what we want, or should this logic be a lot better, right? So should it be order first, grab all the shows that have not occurred, right? So or that have already occurred, sort all those by scheduled start time, then order all of the upcoming shows in normal order. You know what I mean? And then add those to the front of it. Does that make sense?
Honestly, no. If we're sorting them by scheduled start time,
Yeah.
we've already got them in order. I'm not sure what we're solving by.
Well, the question would be, let's say this meet the ASP.NET docs. Let's say that these first two are scheduled, right? And this one is 7 in a week, and then this one is tomorrow. So ASP.NET would be a week away, and then desktop would be tomorrow, right? The question is that how you'd want to see it on the website, or do you want to see the next upcoming one first?
So for the point of view of the countdown clock, you want to see the next upcoming one first.
And then what about the list underneath?
For that, you probably only want to see one upcoming show listed here. I'm guessing. Like, let's say we schedule out the next 6 months or whatever, if there's dozens of shows, nobody cares about that. That's like, true. They only I'd want to see the upcoming show and the previous shows. So we only want one upcoming show, I think.
in this list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then the hard part there is like we only query like the next 25 playlist items. So if we schedule 25, then we're gonna have 0 in this list. This is an issue. All right, well, let's never schedule more than 2. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, my plan is that, here is my plan, right, by the way, is we can schedule 25, but we can make those private until a week before.
Sure.
And now our new logic doesn't show them.
Okay.
But I do like the idea of, well, I kind of like the next week's, like this week's, you know what I mean? Like this week's stand-ups. Because if I come in on Tuesday, I still want to kind of see the one on Thursday.
Right.
But you can always change it. Let's do last.
And people do like to see the countdown to the next show.
Yeah.
Like that's useful.
I'm saying there's a lot of questions in here. Okay, so Fritz is submitting a pull request to Roslyn. Ancient Coder wants to see a real apps coded from the beginning. That's what we're doing.
That's literally what we're doing.
That's what
here.
we're doing. I don't know. Maybe they're talking about something else. The chat room is going crazy. Then I got Nightbot in there.
I think Fritz is asking, like, they're planning out shows, and he's saying, what do you want to see?
Fritz is like, hey, everyone watching this stream, stop watching this. Come talk to me. It'll be way better than this shenanigans.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, cool. So we want the countdown. We want the last. That's correct. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now this is great, right? Because if I run this puppy, I add a breakpoint. There should be... There,
yep.
Right?
And what's neat is then we can actually go in and edit the Razor file live and just keep refreshing.
Oh, that's right.
Like
that's
you don't even have to.
Okay. Okay. So upcoming show. Oh, there is none. That's wrong. Is in the future. Oh, this is now against the live stream, so there is none in the future. So let me go back to my mock data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't actually have anything scheduled, so we could. You know what you're talking about next Tuesday?
I don't. I think we may reschedule it because I'm out and Damien's out, so I'm a bad test case.
Classic. Well, next week would be languages in runtime on Thursday.
Let's do that then.
I'm sure Emo will have something to talk about.
Cool.
All right, cool. And we got a show. We got a show, John.
This is wonderful.
1 month from now. And then has a show. True. Okay, cool. So let us then shove this over here, shove this over here, this down. Continue. How do I hit the continue button? Oh, the buttons are so small. Oh, nope, it's right here. Oh, continue. All right, cool. All right, cool. So what do we do now?
So I think you'd want to go into your index CSHTML.
Yep.
And I don't know, we could throw in there a Jumbotron.
Is that a thing?
It is literally a thing.
I thought you were just saying Jumbotron like a big projector. I didn't know it's an actual thing.
It is literally a thing. So it's a Bootstrap class.
Oh my goodness.
And I would recommend going to the Bootstrap docs and looking it up, because that's what I do for most Bootstrap things.
So I'm going to do an if statement here. Like, don't even add the div if it's in here. Okay, so Bootstrap Jumbo. Oh, it actually is a thing. I still didn't believe you.
You were, yeah.
Did not believe you.
Not buying it.
Jumbotron. Okay, it's just like a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the banner. It's a banner. You know, and yep. And then there's different styles you can do with them and stuff, but it's kind of a standard. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna copy and paste this thing in here. I guess
sure.
I don't want that button, but I do want this. Fluid maybe?
Is there here? I have fewer monitors than I'm used to. Is there a Jumbotron? Bootstrap. Is there one that goes all the way to the sides? Because that's the new hot way.
This one almost goes all the way to the side, but I think our CSS
right.
is probably like there's, stuff on the left and right. That's fine.
Go with that fluid Jumbotron. Sounds fine.
Yeah. I guess if we didn't fluid it, if I did just a Jumbotron, a non-fluid, hit save. So to refresh, that's right. It looks exactly the same. I don't know what the difference. What's the difference? Oh, to make the Jumbotron full width and without rounded corners, add Jumbotron fluid.
Rounded corners are, we're still deciding.
That's the hotness.
Yeah.
All day. Oh, this says Jumbotron, so maybe just Jumbotron. All right, that looks good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
I like rounded corners. What's wrong with rounded corners?
No, well, it's funny. Sometimes it's like, oh, everything's rounded, and then people are like, too much rounded. Go back to just square.
Yeah. So Fritz says that this UI is very shiny. He likes it. You like that? It's just Bootstrap. Just Bootstrap.
Cool.
By the way,
all right.
Last week you should go watch last week's episode because I did these little circle chip things, and Bootstrap blew my mind, and the whole chat room was like, I can't believe that literally James is being blown away by Bootstrap right now. It's amazing.
You know, it is cool. It's one of those things where, like, having done web dev for several years, some of this stuff that Bootstrap does for you is like stuff I would screw with for a day or 2 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like all this stuff. And, you know, it's not beautiful semantic HTML, and it's all, but it's a common kind of standard thing. It's easy to theme. It solves a lot of problems. So. And then if you want to tweak your UI later, go for it. But yeah. Okay, cool. So if has upcoming show. So it does have an upcoming show.
Yep.
So then we could do, like, as a incremental thing, you could just put in the show's time.
Oh yeah.
And then we could start tweaking with JavaScript to, what I would think is we would have a div with an ID that's the, you know, next show time.
Yep.
And it just shows the time, and then the JavaScript replaces that text with a localized time for you.
That's a good idea, yeah. So let's see here. Oh, so C# it says, I'm used to XML layouts. Bootstrap polyfills the same thing XML has done for a while. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Okay, so well, this is the I use humanizer on here, by the way, too. So that's why it's like 1 month from now. Yeah.
Nice.
So it'll say like yesterday, tomorrow, today, things like that. Now I may also say if it's in the future, just do the probably if it's more than tomorrow, then just do the date time on it. So for instance, let me stop it really quick. Let's make that a change now. So one thing that I do is I have my humanizer rules. I like humanizer, but I also don't like some of the things that it does. So here, for instance, what I do is, yeah, I do this scheduled start time, and I say if it is the scheduled start time is less than 7 days, then humanize it. Else, I'll do my own pattern.
Right. I agree.
Now, I am in the back end getting the current culture, but I guess that's the server's current culture.
Yeah, and it's, you just end up with a lot. It's generally, this stuff is just much easier to do. If you screw up your math on the server, or for some reason, like, you can hit weird things where, like, it's proxied or cached or stuff like that. So doing the math on the client for simple stuff like this ends up being smoother.
Well, I think that this scheduled start time being humanized is okay. I think that it's the time, right?
It's the exact time zone and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess, like, the question is, like, if I'm in, let's say I'm in Europe and it starts on the 5th, but really your time might be the 6th. It should say June 6th or July 6th at 5 a.m. So I guess the humanized time in that regard is not accurate.
Yeah. Right.
But you're saying that this code does not run in the browser.
Here, wait. I'm flipping between different things. C# code, unless it's Blazor.
Oh my goodness. Also, by the way, we got to stop because Clinton Rocksmith, the one and only, just gifted 10 tier 1 subs to the community.
Whoa.
That is
I don't even know what's going on.
he saw his hype boss. He has this new hype boss thing where you can get XP for subscribing and whatnot, and he probably thought it was low. So thank you, Clinton. You're ridiculous. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Gifted 15 total in this channel to Dotcomi, Paulson, B Paletto, C Sharp Fritz, Paymanner, Codephobia, Sushinator, Miss Salty, Vin, and Dragon. You all have no awesome emotes, everything like that. Fantastical. And now just Shia LaBeouf's going to yell at us for the next 5 minutes. But also, any profits from this stream all go to the Duke Langer Foundation, supporting the red-shanked Duke Langer monkeys of Vietnam and Laos. So I appreciate that, which is good. We've raised lots of money so far. We just raised lots of money for the Trevor Project, and earlier this year, raised over $500 for Girls Who Code. So thanks for being awesome. And of course, makes the show better. I can upgrade my equipment and get better stuff too. And so any profit beyond that goes over and over. Whew. And I got sweet coffee cups and mooches and soon more emotes. I think now I'll unlock another emote thanks to that. So that's pretty cool. All right. What am I doing?
Well, have you run this yet? Like, I'm curious to just see how it's looking.
Yes.
Nothing is impossible.
Well, so so this is what it looks like, right? It kind of looks like next episode.
Oh, right. 1 month from now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm feeling like for that countdown thing at the top, I don't know that I don't know. The current one, okay, take a look at live.asp.net.
Yes.
See what shoot, we don't have an upcoming shows. Oh yeah, we do.
We do?
As of now, it says it's next week, although I may have pushed.
It says it's 2 weeks, July 16th. Oh, because you did this manually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this one doesn't look at the YouTube API. This is just manually hard coded.
Yes. So a nice thing about this is it's a specific time, and it actually then, because of that, you can do add to calendar also, which is kind of.
And this here, if I'm in a different time zone, and we might need the chat, but I'm imagining this always says Pacific Daylight Time.
No, it does not.
No, it does not.
It's localized.
It is localized.
So for me, if I go to that, it says Eastern Daylight Time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's part of, I think that is a nice thing too, especially this was something we had to figure out with the community that was watching from Europe and stuff, right? Because I would always screw up the European time math, and they'd said, just tell me in my local time zone.
Yeah.
So
you're saying we should steal the code from here?
Honestly, I think we probably want to steal almost all of this code.
Okay.
At least start with.
Okay.
Some people dream of success.
So
is
yeah.
Is that open source somewhere?
Well, yeah. So let me grab the link for that.
And also the chat room is confirming that. Wow, it's even translated too. Yeah. Brasilia Standard Time. Some Eastern Central Europe time. There we go. So John has that chat link.
Okay, so that is the JavaScript, and then you'll also need to look in the view. And I think this is maybe a little more verbose than it needs to be, but
I love JavaScript, so there's.
So this is just home.js, so you could just throw it in your JavaScript home, your JS folder.
So I could just grab the raw file. There's nothing wrong in here. Just grab this puppy.
Yeah. I mean, to start with, we can tweak it and whatever.
Do I need to compile the JavaScript? How does it?
You don't. Well, I'm sure you could transpile it.
All right, let me add a JavaScript file. So I'm going to stop debugging here, and let's go into here. Also, Code Monk, thank you for the follow as well. I think we're done finally with all of the subscriptions, but I appreciate the subs. Of course, that's crazy. So let me do this. Add new item. And ASP.NET Core. Is there a JavaScript file? There it is. All right, cool.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, cool.
Boop. So, all right. Can I because you can't debug the JavaScript because the JavaScript's that's in the browser. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, you can browser debug it, and Visual Studio can attach to JavaScript, but it gets a little wackier. And again, I'm all for like migrating and fixing, making things better, but like I would start with this.
Okay.
So then the one other thing is within that same in GitHub, if you go where you got that JavaScript file from.
I'm just staring. This is
It's doing a lot of date parsing and stuff, and there are libraries that do this kind of stuff too,
like a node at time.
Yeah, so in that case, there's JavaScript versions of that, right? Because node at time is .NET.
Yeah. Moment.js, Vin says.
Moment.js, yeah.
You don't want to just use the new hotness?
You can use Moment.js if you want. Let's check it out.
Okay. Look at me, JavaScript developer. Yeah, this seems great. Look at this. Install package. Oh, look at that format.
Does it have a countdown?
Calendar. Oh, because this JavaScript does the countdown too, correct?
Yeah.
I think this is just for parse, validate, manipulate, and display dates.
Mm-hmm.
Moment time zone. Parse and display dates in any time zone. Luxon, powerful, modern, and friendly wrapper over data. Because you need 3 libraries on the same website to talk about date times. All right, moment guides. I don't think that there's a countdown.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's like formatting. Unless Vin, in the chat room if there's actually like a countdown. I guess you could do like JavaScript countdown timer. How to create? There's W3 Skull. There it is. It's literally right here.
Yeah.
This looks like all the code that was on the website.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. This is pretty accurate. Update account every second. Okay. Set interval. Yeah, this is very, very similar to what they're doing in the thing.
I'm way up, I feel blessed.
SP Boyer, thank you for the follow.
Oh, cool.
Mr. Boyer in the chat room.
That's wonderful.
He's like, oh, James is doing JavaScript. Better give him a follow. Okay, so it looks like here what I'm noticing here is that there's all sorts of helper methods to format times, months, functions, format date. Like these are just functions, date diffing. There's countdown 2, which then looks to be getting the diff, and then it like has a tick callback. I'm pretty sure what's happening is it's looking for a query selector of date, part, show time, and countdown. Set the show time display and then start the countdown.
Yeah. Yep. So all those data dash things, that's a common attribute for extension attributes. And so you can do data dash whatever, data dash stuff. And it makes it's just kind of a standard. It's really just kind of more of a convention for those.
Gotcha.
So especially during the days where there was a lot of jQuery, there was tons of data dash attributes everywhere. So then if you also look in your views and you look in the home view and you'll see exactly. There's all the.
Okay. Model that is on air. Live show partial. That's probably, oh, here we go. Next show. Oh, interesting. So there's a partial here. So we'll at least put this in to begin.
Mm-hmm.
There's a calendar button. I don't love the calendar button. But.
Yeah, so I think there are also other libraries out there that I've used for other things. It is nice to be able to say add to my calendar because we do want people to actually, like, they're not going to remember to come back in a week necessarily, right?
Yeah, it would be nice to have the YouTube generate a calendar automatically so it's like real. Because it's just one-off, but...
Yeah, if you look, the one we're using like on .NET Conf, that one's decent. And that's and there's a few others like that. What's nice with that is it's the add to calendar lets you add it to like a bunch of different calendars, Google Calendar or Outlook or whatever.
Okay, so we probably always have this Jumbotron. And then let us delete this. And it looks like we at least have, oh my goodness, a bunch of stuff in here, but sure. And we could say if upcoming show.
Yeah,
Oh.
so you'll notice here that pattern of in your page model, doing all your calculating, figuring all your logic out, and just pre-chewing everything and just spitting it out, to, over to your. So there, but it's basically just model.next show date. That's the only thing actually that it's working with there.
Yeah, so this has like upcoming show dot start time, scheduled start time. That's when it is. I don't think it has a value though. Oh, because theirs is
It's
a
nullable.
nullable. Now the question is, can I make a variable inside of here and just
You can.
I do var?
So you could do var, or you could do yeah.
This works? Oh my goodness. Really?
Yeah.
Amazing. Then do I have to do an add in here? I do have to do an add in there because I'm inside of it.
Yeah.
You ASP.NET folks. So crazy. Okay. So it looks like here. All right. Oh. Start time. Then here, I don't have an add to Google URL, so let us comment that out for now.
Sure.
All right. So every Tuesday and Thursday. It's a little bit tricky because it's not actually one, but streaming live every Tuesday. I don't know why, multiple time zones or 10 a.m. So
Yeah, and see there that acute, that's you need actually ampersand AMP. Yep.
there you go.
So you pretend not to know the web, but you
know the internet. It confuses me. It hurts my head. Oh, and then I messed this up. Wait, did I mess that up? Oh, what? Oh, that's crazy. Whoa, what is that? What is this and sign stars? That's how you do
Yeah, and so the reason for that is you're commenting out in Razor. It can be complicated because you have nested HTML and C# code, and so special format for them.
Boom.
Okay, so formatting. Let me see, 10 o'clock. So here it says 10 Zulu for me.
Zulu.
Yeah. That is my old-time Navy roots there. I would call that Zulu.
Old time road. I'm gonna format that time till I can't no more. All right, so I don't know what I don't know what's happening now. So
it's not counting down though.
Yes, it is not. And my assumption is that I probably didn't do. Is there something inside of here that it's looking for a container or looking for something?
Very possible.
So it looks like I didn't put it in a container.
Yeah, it shouldn't need that.
Next episode, text center.
Let's look at our JavaScript. What is our JavaScript here?
Well, so I'd imagine that it's looking for this data part, right?
Yes, here, my live share. I'm trying to catch up on my live share business. It wants to save things. Okay, wait. I'm trying to see if I actually see in mine.
This stuff?
Yeah.
Could always drop and then come back, I guess.
No, I got it. Okay, so data part. So where it's parsing out for the countdown, format, date, time. So the formatting, decent. Countdown to. So there's this countdown to. Oh, I think there's something actually in the view where you have to say like begin countdown or something.
Oh, I see. In the code behind or in the actual file?
I'm trying to look here. Window.site.js equals what the business? Okay, so I think he's probably kicking this off inside his.
Oh, did we actually add the home? Does it know that home JS file is there?
The home.js does not have, you're right, it needs a reference to that. So an easy way to do that is you can actually drag and drop in Visual Studio,
Okay.
drag the JavaScript file to the top of, or to the bottom. Bottom is better usually.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of people are saying that the chat room doesn't seem to be working 100%. Apparently, if you refresh, it's okay. Twitch had a lot of problems before, so if all of a sudden you're not there, you can refresh. And then, yeah, MLC said, did you add the script to your CSHTML? And we did not.
We did now.
Boom! Now,
Okay.
how does it know? Oh, site is in the partials, so that's always going to get added. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. But then you're saying that there might be something I need to kick.
Yeah, and so I'm not sure. I think there is, if you look in the previous GitHub repo, the live.asp.net, and there's a thing, set show details.
That show detail.
If you scroll all the way to the bottom.
Oh, I see something in here. It says script function, Windows site.js, set next show details, next show details.
Mm-hmm.
In the script file?
Yeah.
Yeah, if next show scheduled and is not on air.
Yep. So you could put that at the bottom of our thing. I'm just interested to see it work, and then we can mess with it.
Oh, this is in a section scripts.
Yes. So the reason for that is to allow for, now this is an MVC, so you don't have to worry about that actually in this case. That's something where you use that a lot more where you're doing things like you have layouts and you need to compose a bunch of things together. So you'll have some scripts. So your layout will have a script section, and then it kind of composes all that stuff in.
Got it. How does this is on air get set?
So his is on air is something, we're going to have to figure that out. His is on air actually comes from the admin interface, and it's something that you code in. So
I was thinking Signal R, just like boom.
Yeah, no, I mean we should, but we don't have that now.
That was my thought, but yeah.
Yeah, you can take that out actually. It's just has upcoming show is fine.
For now, yeah. Fritz says maybe Cloudflare redeploy something. I did get an email from Cloudflare. They're like, oh, sorry, we broke the internet again.
I'm not going to speak bad of Cloudflare. I use them for like my podcast site, and they save me a lot of bandwidth. And
I use them for everything. I love Cloudflare. Big fan of the show. Oh, there we go.
Look what's happening. And I've got my time zone, and I've got my countdown.
I don't think my time zone is correct.
Oh, wait. So I'm just looking at mine. Yeah, Pacific Daylight. Oh, August.
3 a.m.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Oh, I guess that this is the... I guess, maybe that's correct. Hold on.
When is our next show?
Because this is the mock data.
Oh.
So let me see here. So if
let me see, yeah.
If I go into the mock data, the next show would be... I muxed this all up. Let me just do it so there's... Do I even have an upcoming show? I do. Let me do it so this one is in the past. So we'll do 07.
Well, wait. Which one is it using now? That's in the future.
Oh, it'd be using. Well, so I set these to the same. Oh wait, no. So this one has a scheduled start time. This one has an actual start time.
Of August, yeah, 0820. So why is that 7? So that's...
Yeah, this one should actually be live. Because if I look at my, logic, hold on a second here. So I have is new. So then I have is in the future, is on air. Actual start time has a value. Actual end time does not have a value. Then, you know what is probably wrong? is I bet that this needs to go here. If it's on the air, then show that first.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. There we go. That one's live. Okay. So, according to my logic, that one should be live, and this one should be upcoming in general.
Okay.
So, but that's the thing is, I think my logic here should also be... Oh, because there is in future, right? So, it should be like...
Does this get to the thing where we have multiple future shows?
Well, because you could have multiple futures, but then you could have a future and is on air, right? So I think what you want to do here, hold on, let me stop this, is inside of our page, we should say is in future and show dot is not on air. There we go.
Yeah.
Because that's the upcoming show.
And Ben pointed out that we could also, and yeah, there's totally stuff where, well, he said you could add Home.js only when there's an upcoming show. And I'm not sure if we're doing that already, but that would be very easy to change in our index. Just move it into that conditional.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah. So here we could have a...
Way up, I feel blessed.
There we go. Thank you, Toy. Toy Gar, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So here, we could just do here. We'll just do... So now we have an upcoming show, on-air show. And then here, we can do... a show is on air. There we go. We can just do first or default. Doesn't really matter. Okay, cool. So, yeah, you're right. I think in our CSHTML, we could also do this here, yeah. Right?
I'm getting a little bit of lag, so yeah, you could.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess could you put it all in the same script file? I don't understand. How they
Well,
work.
wait a minute. Yeah, is that? Yeah, you could. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
Let's see if that works. Okay. So, well, we should look at the timestamp, right? Because if I look at the timestamp of this upcoming one, this is, let's just do this for real. So we'll say 7. When is your next show? That would be the 16th?
You could actually view source on the live.asp.net and you'd see the data that they've got, right?
Oh, I guess so, huh? Oh, there's the month, day. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's of Z. So 7/16/2245 Z. But this is the data that came back from 16. And then what's T, I guess?
I forget. T, maybe the time zone. I forget. This is that weird RFC. I always have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know what 10 to 7 is.
So Z time zone is Zulu time zone, which is UTC. And then
It's Tango time zone.
yeah, so Tango is, it might be Pacific. Oh no, T is prime meridian. Is Zulu? Oh man, I get Zulu may be international date time then. What is Z time zone?
Yeah, I mean, because this is the time zone that's coming back from YouTube, right?
So Z time zone is UTC.
Okay.
And T time zone is when you drink tea.
It is the international tea time.
Yeah. So T time zone is 7 hours behind UTC. And it is, yeah. And it is Pacific.
Pacific time zone? Oh, that's literally...
Yeah, that's you.
I like that. It's always in our time zone. T means time. -7 is the offset.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Right. So that's the thing. It's that RFC time. So it's not you. That's why I always look it up. It's like RFC 8062, whatever it is.
Yep. So here, if I look at this date, well, it's kind of crazy because then I'm looking at the scheduled time, and then yeah, that it would be the. I guess the date time in it is ticks. Kind is local. Date of week Tuesday. Date.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is how it string formats. Like however JSON.net is formatting it.
That is so there's a technical like specification for date formatting. So yeah, anything that's going to be serializing dates is going to use that.
Yeah. Well, so here, for instance, if you remember in our output, our locals, I had this, JSON.net convert, and that's where our sample data was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at that, that one does do the T15 -7. So
okay, so it's because it's serialized.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'm imagining that that's what we would get back from the YouTube service.
Okay.
But a little hard to say here.
Well, so if let's look at our JSON file.
Okay.
So for the show we're talking about.
Yep.
Oh well. Yeah. Sorry, I'm
change that here. Here's our sample data. Okay, so our sample data says 10 o'clock, which is at -7 time zone, which is Pacific, which is correct.
Oh, okay, but that's the 716 show.
This is
that's the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So if yours was 2 weeks away, I guess it would really be at 3:03:45. Like this is pretty accurate.
Yeah, but didn't we also? There's another show that it was listing when you ran it, which was in August.
Oh, that's because I put in mock data down here.
Yeah. So we don't want to show that for the next show.
Yeah, this was me. This is how I mocked a live show because it has an actual scheduled start time, and so this would be live.
Thank you, Parathon. That is ISO 8601 is the spec.
So the question then becomes, okay, so this is our dummy data for upcoming show. This is our dummy data for a live show.
Wonderful.
Yep. And then, yeah, the question then becomes, how do we get this format working with the JSON?
Well, there's two different things. You don't want to show both upcoming and live at the same time. So like the way that the current site works is if we have a countdown because we have an upcoming show, and as soon as the show goes live, you stop showing that and you just show the live show.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So for your mock data, you want to have one or the other.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it'd be up to the client. So what we could do is you could do something like, if we get the list of shows, you could remove the live show. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You could do if on air.
I mean, our logic should just work with what's coming. You shouldn't have yeah. If you're on air, then you don't show any of the countdown timer stuff.
Yeah, what is this thing? What is this as a IEnumerable? Great.
I don't think you necessarily have to remove it. What I would do is our logic that's in the countdown thing says if you're on air, show one thing. If not, then
yeah. So this on air badge, this should go through and this should say, can you do if show dot is on air, and then can you do continue? Like how do I skip it?
Wait, I'm still confused. I wouldn't do this in that list down below.
In the CSHTML.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah. Break. Is it break? No, it's not break.
Like that, right?
Like- Yeah. So actually, you want for that what you want to do is braces.
Oh, I have to do like
Braces.
do nothing and then else.
No. I mean, you can do curly braces for the You can do it.
Oh.
Oh, but you're in a for each. Can you continue in a for each?
I think so. I think that worked.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
good because now if you're on air, don't
You're
do
not
anything.
showing the same. Yeah. So then going up above into that Jumbotron thing,
Yeah.
that's the place where you're going to want to do the, hey, if you're on air, then
Yeah.
let's just show it. We're on air now. Like we can just show some crappy thing. And then do an else.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for that you actually, yeah, so cool. Now just as a razor thing, you can get rid of those start and stop braces
These
because
ones?
you don't. Right below the model is on air. Yep, you can get rid of 11 and 13.
What about 15?
15.
That doesn't like that.
Oh, never mind then.
Oh, you need those
Oh,
braces.
okay. Yeah. Oh, of course, because just standard C#. Sorry, I was thinking we were using them for escaping.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, not here. I think here you actually do need these braces. It didn't like it without the braces. It's like the logic is inside the braces in it. Yeah.
Yep.
So one thing that we need to do then, because we're trying to work on this countdown timer, is for now, inside the code behind, I'm going to not grab the on-air show because we actually have one in our mock data source. So
yeah, but again, what I think would be better well, sure, for just testing now, that's fine. But in our mock data, our mock data should have one or the other.
okay, so let's do the oh, we could just do this, right? We could do comment it out.
Sure.
So if you want to debug one or the other, you just flip that on or off.
Mm-hmm.
You like that? No, you're mad.
So commenting in JSON is not really.
I did that one time and Rowan got so mad at me. He didn't get mad at me. He was like, don't do that.
I don't know if Rowan's gotten angry.
Angered is, yeah, that's the thing is like when I said it, I was like, yeah, Rowan doesn't get angry. But I made a pull request and I was like, yeah, I just maybe want to add this back later. He's like, don't be commenting on that JSON. I'm leaving it. Okay, I'll delete it. Okay. All right, I'll delete it. For you, I'll delete it.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so this should have an upcoming show.
Mm-hmm.
And
dun dun dun.
We should now I've set the date time to be oh, I'm not using the mock data source. Sorry. Things are working as expected when you use the real data source.
Yep.
Good thing we did do that mock data source though from the JSON file.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time I was like, I don't know, this is kind of over engineering, and then it's like, oh, we need it.
Super helpful. Let us close things to the right. Oop. Cool, Juan. Thanks. Have a good one. Glad that you learned a few things. I'm still learning every day. So, all right. So this is almost correct because this should say 3:45 p.m.
Right.
And my assumption is that there's assumptions being made inside this JavaScript file.
Yeah. Well, we could look at, I closed my window down, which I shouldn't have. I'm interested if I look at, because we can view source on our
on our page.
JavaScript. Yeah.
You're saying here I can do, because yeah, this should look, now with that time in place, it should look exactly the same as this. Although it says, yeah, I like how it says 1 week, 6 days, 56 minutes. Ours says 5 days, 5 hours, 50. Actually, is that a bug on this website? Oh no, it's not, because there's an extra 5 hours.
Right.
Okay, cool. I was like, wait a second. So view source.
So yeah.
Pretty.
So what do our data dash things say?
Oh, so we should compare and contrast then.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So this one says,
Yeah, that's going to say the 1545, right?
yeah. So
2245. Yeah.
Yeah, so mine says 3:45, and that one says 22:45. Because my assumption is, yeah, so this says 3:45 Z. It's like not, it doesn't know the, it doesn't know about, Janice Q asked if this should be Blazor. Well, I mean, we're not really running everything client side, so.
Well, and partly too, we're going to be passing this off. We're building this to run inside of the .NET site. Yeah. So
So this is the problem, right? So the thing is, I'm curious if we just have a 2 universal time, and then this thing works, right? So right now, inside of our...
Yeah, I think when we serialized out of, what's it called? Maybe we did it wrong.
It's just using the default, though. But I'm curious if I refresh this and do 2 universal time. No, it didn't work either. Scheduled start time. Do local time. I'm just gonna see what time works.
Well, or set a breakpoint on that. I'm curious what scheduled start time actually is listed as there.
You can do it in the...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Can I do it in the thing?
I don't know.
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So the scheduled start time is 3:45 a.m. Is that right?
So when we're populating our show from the snippet, maybe we're doing that wrong.
Oh. You think in our mock data service?
Yeah.
We just JSON convert that puppy.
Well, speaking of time, it is almost 6 p.m. So
yeah, I got 9 minutes left.
All right.
And I actually have to go on the call. So yeah, the question really becomes, so this is actually wrong. This is not okay. So here's one thing. Here's one thing that's wrong. This should be 15.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
Okay. So that is definitely wrong. I don't know how that slipped by us.
Yeah, so that would do it then.
Because I'm like, hey friends.
So, people talking about Blazor, I think once we get this going, it would be easy enough to plug in. Like, we're building out the backend services, really, and at some point later we could use Blazor. But again, Blazor uses HTML, CSS, you know what I mean? So, like, we'd write C# logic instead of JavaScript, but the HTML and CSS and Bootstrap would still work.
Just that JavaScript for the showing the stuff would be
yeah.
Okay, so if I look at this now, still not right, but it is different. So I guess my question then is, like, if I do 2 universal time, because that's what it's expecting, right?
Maybe. I'm not.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the problem is that the scheduled time is the actual time of the live stream with the correct time code too, right?
Right.
But our JavaScript is expecting a universal time, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So you could argue that when we get the data, we should always return universal time. Probably. But
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, actually.
so maybe that's the better thing to do here is we do that here, right? So we come in and we say, you know what we're gonna do is we're going to come into our show,
Into
into our YouTube service,
Mhm.
and whenever we get this value, we're gonna say dot to universal time, right?
Yep.
And dot to universal. Oops. This is an actual end time, which is already a date time. Oh, I see. This is okay. So I can do. So I'll have to do if live data dot actual end time dot has value. Then we'll do dot value dot to universal time. And then we'll do the same thing, but for the actual start time. So this way we're consistent. We're going to say, hey, no matter what, like...
Yeah, we're dealing with universal time.
Yeah. So that'll be good. So like from our thing, and then we could reserialize stuff out, get it, blah, 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 blah. And if we run this again, if I put a breakpoint on our CS HTML, or my code behind of my .cs file, here, let's put it here. See if it's running. All right, almost. And then what we can do here is we could grab our new JSON and we can just see what it is, right? So we could say, interesting. Scheduled start time is, still gives us the same thing.
Well, it's pulling. This is pulling from our JSON file.
Gosh darn it, John, you're so smart.
You know, we almost need something that's like, if you're in mock data, we show something on the screen. You know.
I like that. It's a good idea. That's easy enough to do, probably. So yeah, that's funny. All right. Last test, and then we'll get you out of here.
Cool. This is fun.
This is actually good. I mean, date times. Get John Skeet on here. Come on.
Yeah. Well, and we definitely can improve this, but I wanted to at least have something working. We figured out the date time math stuff, and I'd hate to write new code and mess with our date time math at the same time. So now that once we're working with solid date times, then we can use Moment.js or use whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm going to go ahead and update this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this here. So now we're in our mock data, and then what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and return these to be null, and then this one will be null.
So Vin pointed out too that you can use a setting in JSON.NET, serialized date time zone handling. So
that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, but then also like we also do want to serialize it, correct? But then we also just want it to have the real data set to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the data we were telling JSON is that's fine. But if we were using that API and not serializing it, we still want the actual, time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's see. So now if I go back to mock data service, and I did my sample data, we could do this would be on the 16th at, I believe that's correct, because that's the last one you guys did.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then this should be upcoming because it's scheduled only. And there's the Z. So now we have the Z in there. So now that makes sense. This all makes sense, Mr. Galloway.
This is exciting.
All happening.
You know what's also happening? We can technically we could move our countdown header over. Do you think so? I mean, it is done. We could definitely change it around, but
we could. It does look that now it's mad at me about something.
No.
Read date time string. That scheduled.
Did not convert. JSON reader exception. Oh. Okay.
I did this wrong. Okay. We got this. All right, there we go. Okay, I just put an extra. Oh, there we go. Woo! We did it.
This is great excitement.
All right, beautiful. And we even have an upcoming show. It's boom, it's there. That's our mock data one, and it's upcoming. You can see it. John, we did it.
Great fun. Yes. We did. Should we, for our thing, should we update countdown header? What do you want to put for status on that?
In progress? Oh, finished it. We finished it.
I think it's finished. Like, we can definitely add
Clean it.
something else to do something new, but yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We did it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Implement countdown header. Whoop, whoop. All right. Let me go and push these changes.
Yep. I updated our Kanban board.
Awesome. Oh, Cecil's in the house. Welcome, Cecil.
Hey,
Thanks,
Cecil.
thanks everyone for your help. That was super duper awesome. John, are we going to do this next week? Are you back next week?
I'm not back next week. I am the following week, but not next week.
All right. Some ASP.NET expert, Cecil, will have to come join me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Cecil's an ASP.NET expert, but I'm just going to say it.
He certainly is.
Yeah. All right, good. There we go. Now you kind of know
All
what we're
right.
doing. All right, John, thanks everyone for watching. John, I love you. Have a great trip. I'll see you next week at the Xamarin Dev Summit.
I know. Really exciting.
John's going to
We
be
will
there.
high five, and we should like live code in person at Xamarin Dev Summit.
We should. I'm into it. All right. Let me see really quick if anyone else is online, and then I will get out of here. I never know if anyone's on. Oh, Clancy's online. Let's go send some love over to Clancy. Let me make sure he's still online. .tv/board. On there? Dude. This is the fun part where, like, you're streaming and then you're like, oh man, like, should I, like, you know, raid somebody? And then, like, that's gonna take time, and my computer is slow. On. Oh, this was fun. Come on, Twitch. You got Twitch, I think, is having some. All right, cool. We're gonna send people over to Clancy's.
Okay. I know part of the problem.
Oh, I can hear him. All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Talk to you later. All right, stick around if you want to raid Clancy for some Xamarin stuff. See you, John.